The death of Diana, Princess of Wales, remains a subject of intense global fascination. On August 31st, 1997, the world awoke to shocking and tragic news. A car crash in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris had claimed the lives of 3 people. Among the deceased was Princess Diana, one of the most famous women in the world. Her companion, Dodi Fayed, son of the Egyptian billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed, also perished. The driver of the vehicle, Henri Paul, was the 3rd victim. Only one person, bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones, survived the catastrophic impact. The official narrative, established by French and British investigations, was straightforward. It was determined to be a tragic accident caused by a drunk driver speeding to escape paparazzi. Henri Paul, the acting head of security at the Ritz Hotel, was found to have high levels of alcohol in his blood. Also had traces of prescription drugs, including an antidepressant, in his system. The black Mercedes-Benz 280 was traveling at an estimated 65 miles per hour. This was more than double the 30-mile-per-hour speed limit in the tunnel. Furthermore, none of the occupants, except for the survivor, were wearing seat belts. The final verdict of the British inquest in 1928 was unlawful killing. The jury attributed the deaths to the grossly negligent driving of Henri Paul and the pursuing paparazzi. Yet, for many, this official explanation felt incomplete and unsatisfactory. Almost immediately, theories of a conspiracy began to circulate and take root. These theories questioned every aspect of the official account. The most vocal proponent of these theories was Mohammed Al Fayed. He firmly believed his son and the princess were murdered. Al Fayed launched a relentless campaign to prove his claims of a sinister plot. He alleged the conspiracy was orchestrated by the British establishment. Specifically, he implicated Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, in ordering the assassination. The motive, Al Fayed claimed, was to prevent Diana from marrying a Muslim. He also insisted that Diana was pregnant with Dodi's child. This potential marriage and pregnancy were supposedly unacceptable to the royal family. The British Secret Intelligence Service, MI6, was named as the executing agency. This theory gained traction due to a note Diana herself had written. In October 1993, she expressed fears of a plot to harm her in a car accident. She had given this note to her butler, Paul Burrell, for safekeeping. The existence of this note seemed to be a chilling premonition. However, the massive British inquiry, Operation Paget, addressed these claims head-on. Launched in 2004, the investigation took years to complete. Operation Paget found no evidence of a conspiracy orchestrated by the royal family. It also concluded that Diana was not pregnant at the time of her death. Friends and medical evidence confirmed she was using contraception. The engagement theory was also deemed unfounded. While Dodi had purchased a ring, there was no proof of a formal proposal or acceptance. Another central figure in the conspiracy theories was the driver, Henri Paul. Theorists questioned the official findings about his intoxication. They suggested the blood samples tested were not his. It was also alleged that he was an informant for a security service. The large sums of money found in his possession fueled this speculation. Operation Paget, however, conducted DNA tests on the blood samples. The tests confirmed the blood belonged to Henri Paul. The investigation also found no evidence of him being a paid agent for MI6 or any other agency. His wealth was explained through normal, albeit complex, personal finances. Condition of the Mercedes itself became a point of contention. Some claimed the car had a history of mechanical problems and was unsafe. There were also allegations that the seatbelts had been deliberately sabotaged. Investigators, however, found no evidence of pre-crash tampering or mechanical failure. The mystery of a white Fiat Uno added another layer to the conspiracy. Traces of paint on the Mercedes suggested a glancing collision with such a car. The Fiat was driven by an off-duty security guard named Levanthan. He admitted to being in the tunnel but denied any involvement in the crash. Though his car was repainted shortly after the incident, no charges were ever brought against him. Conspiracy theorists believe he was a key part of the plot, used to initiate the crash. Another element of the theories involves a bright flash of light in the tunnel. Some witnesses reported seeing a powerful flash just before the Mercedes lost control. It was suggested this was a stun gun or strobe light used to blind the driver. This, it is argued, was a tactic to ensure Henri Paul would crash. Operation Paget investigated this claim by recreating the scene. They concluded that such a flash was unlikely to have caused the crash as described. The response of the emergency services also came under scrutiny. It took a considerable amount of time for Diana to be moved from the crash site to the hospital. This led to claims that her medical treatment was deliberately delayed. The French medical approach, however, prioritizes treatment at the scene. This differs from the scoop and run method common in the UK and US. Medical experts who reviewed the case for the inquest stated her injuries were likely unsurvivable. She had suffered a tear to her pulmonary vein, a catastrophic internal injury. Even with the fastest possible transport, her chances of survival were extremely slim. One of the more extreme theories suggests that Diana faked her own death. This theory posits that she wanted to escape the intense media scrutiny. Proponents believe she is now living a quiet life in anonymity. There is, of course, no evidence whatsoever to support this idea. It remains a fantasy born from a desire for a happier ending. The role of the paparazzi is a less conspiratorial, but still critical, part of the tragedy. They were relentlessly pursuing the couple on motorcycles. Their chase undoubtedly contributed to the high speed of the Mercedes. Some photographers even took pictures at the crash scene before helping. This behavior sparked a global debate on press ethics and privacy laws. Despite exhaustive investigations, the conspiracy theories endure. The internet has provided a fertile ground for these ideas to spread and evolve. Forums and social media keep the debate alive for new generations. The narrative of a beloved princess murdered by a shadowy establishment is a powerful one. It speaks to a deep-seated distrust of authority and institutions. The story contains all the elements of a classic thriller. There is glamour, royalty, forbidden love, and a mysterious death. Official inquiries, no matter how thorough, struggle to compete with such a compelling narrative. The Operation Paget report spans nearly 900 pages. It meticulously debunks each of the major conspiracy claims. Yet, its conclusions are often dismissed by believers. They argue that the investigation itself was part of the cover-up. This creates a circular logic that is impossible to break with facts. The death of Diana marked a turning point for the royal family's public image. The initial public perception of their response was overwhelmingly negative. Over time, they adapted to a new era of public expectation. The memory of Diana, the people's princess, remains potent. Her legacy is a complex mixture of humanitarian work and celebrity status. She used her fame to champion causes like AIDS awareness and the banning of landmines. This work cemented her place in the hearts of millions. The tragedy of her death is that this work was cut short. The question of what if will forever hang in the air. What if she had worn her seatbelt? What if the driver had not been intoxicated? What if the paparazzi had not been so relentless? These are the questions that haunt the official, tragic story. The conspiracy theories offer a different kind of comfort. They provide a villain to blame, rather than a senseless accident. They transform a random tragedy into an event of epic significance. This is perhaps why they persist, despite the weight of evidence against them. The French judicial investigation concluded in 1999. It found the crash was caused by Henri Paul's loss of control due to his condition and speed. The photographers were cleared of directly causing the crash, though some faced charges for other offenses. Trevor Rees-Jones, the sole survivor, suffered severe memory loss. His recollections of the moments before the crash are limited and fragmented. He has consistently stated he does not believe there was a conspiracy. His book, The Bodyguard Story, aligns with the official investigation's findings. The cost of the various investigations ran into the millions of pounds. Operation Paget alone was one of the most extensive inquiries in the history of the Metropolitan Police. Every credible allegation was thoroughly examined. Witnesses from all over the world were interviewed. The final report was published online for public access. This was an act of transparency aimed at quelling the rumors. For many, it succeeded in providing a definitive account. For others, it was simply part of a more elaborate deception. The story of Diana's death has become a modern myth. It reflects our society's complex relationship with celebrity, media, and power. The truth, as established by law, is a story of human error and tragic circumstance. The legend, however, is a tale of intrigue, betrayal, and murder. And it is the legend that continues to capture the public imagination. The Pont de l'Alma Tunnel has become an unofficial memorial site. Tourists and mourners still visit to pay their respects. The debate between accident and murder will likely never be fully settled in the public mind.